Hi, it's Matt with the Intergalactic Herald, just doing my Star Us Week in Review podcast. This is podcast number 40. All articles or videos mentioned you can get if you go to my website, intergalacticherald.com, and look for news recap number 89. If you're interested in being a guest on this podcast, love to have guests on here, so please go to intergalacticherald.com, look for the contact sheet, and you're more than welcome to submit something there, and we'll see if we can coordinate a time and we can do one of the Week in Review podcasts together. Before we get started, just want to mention two of my Star Atlas Builder efforts that I'm working on. One is a merch store at intergalacticgear.com. So far, I'm just building the business, actually. There's a whole lot of things from business licenses and bank accounts and things like that. So far I just have a merch survey. I'm looking for feedback from the community on what kind of merch you'd like to purchase. So if you could go to intergalacticgear.com and fill out my merch survey, greatly appreciate it. Second one I'm building is what I'm calling a non-guild guild, basically a paid community for Star Atlas gamers to hang out that aren't really interested in joining a guild, but yet still want to hang out and chat in a smaller environment than the Star Atlas Discord. So you can go to intergalacticcoalition.com and fill out the interest survey. Once we get enough people interested, I'll be able to start building the community software. This is going to be a paid community, partly to offset the cost of the actual software to run the community, since it handles threaded discussions and email alerts. So again, go to intergalacticcoalition.com and fill out the interest survey. Greatly appreciate it. Now getting kind of into the content from the last week. Overall, it's actually been kind of a quiet period. I'm wondering if, again, that's kind of due to at least in the U.S., the holidays between the Thanksgiving holiday and the winter holidays. I know in my business, this is sort of a quiet period, not for my clients, but for, people starting new projects and things like that. So I wonder if the Star Us team might be kind of in maybe not necessarily a quiet period. I'm sure they're still working on things, but definitely haven't announced anything. I think the only date we have for any upcoming things for sure that was published was at the Breakpoint conference for the crew packs, which was supposed to come in first quarter 2024. So we'll see. And I'll get into a couple things that are coming. But anyways, excuse me, it does seem like, again, we might be just in a quiet period before the holidays. So first thing, last weekend, Metaverse Nomads had their weekly live stream. Again, great conversation. They have some always great guests, either from within the Rome Guild or Star Atlas community members or other people within the broader community. So always great there. One of the interesting ones that came out of that was a question, I think it was from the guest. Yes. Sorry, it was a week ago, so I already forgot. That people are saying that people like Star Atlas, they're not, quote, real gamers. And the guest there, I think it was Emperor from the Rome Guild, was kind of saying, well, even playing video games earlier, decades ago and things like that. And he was kind of just throwing out a question like, well, is there a better name if we're not a, quote, real gamer? And so just to kind of riff on that topic, because I kind of have used the term for myself over the years, decades actually now, that I am a gamer, just a different kind of gamer. My son, who's I guess can't even call him a teenager now, but college student. So I guess he is an adult. But anyways, yeah, obviously he's a gamer. He plays games, PC games, used to play Xbox, way too many hours. Well, I guess from his perspective, not enough time in a day, but from my perspective as a parent, he plays way too much time and definitely would consider him a gamer. On the other hand, my wife, she's really into what would be called casual games, mobile apps and things like that. And I guess that one doesn't feel like being a gamer, but I guess I have to give a little more flexible definition because, she's having fun. She's playing a game. It's a video game. So I guess she's a gamer too. So again, I think a lot of this is just semantics. What's, and how one group wants to pit itself in the next another group. But I did come up with one thing interesting because the person was asking, well, maybe we need a different name or something like that. Because again, we got, real gamers, casual gamers, console gamers, PC gamers, whatever. We always seem to put an adjective in front of it. So actually, I came up with, I thought was not the best, but at least a name, was we should call ourselves metagamers. I know everybody hates the metaverse, but it does, again, people like titles. They like definitions. They like being able to say, I'm a I'm a certain football fan or a soccer fan or hockey or whatever sport you're into. So anyways, the idea I had with the metagamer was just simply that it's a metaverse. Yeah, it's a term, but it's there's more than one part to it. There's blockchain gaming. There's potentially, hopefully, the future VR gaming. Just a whole lot of things. Anyways, just more of I guess my whole point of it is that a gamer is a gamer. Whether, someone wants to say you're a real gamer or not a real gamer. Again, it's just it's clickbait, it's a way to get names, whatever. Also on the category of seems to be a quiet period, not a lot of content creators in the Star Atlas community putting out content this week. Again, I guess I should caveat that. Lots of stuff on Twitter. I just can't follow and keep up, and it's hard to link, and it doesn't fit my newsletter format and things like that. But anyways, Metaverse Explorer came out with a video this week kind of giving a recap of things going on. And one thing he brought up near the end, and I only listened to this weekend, but I actually noticed when I was going through my ship inventory that, yeah, ship prices are going up. I usually do a weekly spreadsheet where I track where my ships are, and yeah, some of them had some actually pretty decent gains in the last week. So I know some people on Twitter are saying we're back as a community. Okay, cool. I didn't know we ever went away, but again, just Twitter comments, I guess. Second video that came out, Beyond Horizon put out one, and he was titled something on passive income in Star Atlas. And actually, I think it was great to kind of refresh some people's memory, because I think a couple aspects that have been lost. Now, he mentioned score, how you can put your ships in the faction fleet and earn Atlas. Now, that's what I've been pretty much doing exclusively for a few weeks or maybe in a month now, just because Sage Labs, again, as people have listened to me before, I just kind of lost interest in it. It just wasn't the kind of style of play, and I don't have that much time to click around. But Beyond the Horizon actually also brought up about the staking Polis in the DAO. And I've been doing that for a little bit. I'm getting close to, I think I had staked it for a year or 6 months. I can't remember. I think it was a year. And so I keep claiming my very, very small fractional Polis token amount and then just add it back in, and I'll decide what I do after a year. But I think that was great to remind people that the DAO does have the two staking options for Polis and Atlas. I wonder if a lot of people, especially newer people, might not even know that's there, because kind of talk about the DAO as a governance thing has definitely receded from view with lack of, or I guess we'll go back to, it was the staff reductions that really had to focus more on game development resources, staff members, and things like that. So I think it was great that he brought that back up and reminded everybody that there are some other options. Past Wednesday was another Atlas Brew. This one was a community one, and a couple live guests there who talked about their build tools. One was a Sage Labs automation tool. Again, I don't write these names down because you can just go to the link and find out who was there. But again, it was great to see that showing up, what people are developing. I also thought it was kind of cool, if I understood correctly, that it was just a web-based JavaScript program, so didn't sound like it was blockchain, but again, I'm not 100% sure. So it's just, again, amazing. After a few weeks ago, they had a developers discussion on, I'm not sure if it was Atlas Brew or if it was his own thing, but just, again, hearing what people are developing. Again, some days I really wish I had more programming knowledge, but it is really fascinating to see what people are building, and again, as I've mentioned in some previous podcasts, the more openness from the Star Atlas team, specifically from Michael Wagner, the CEO's comments about that automation tools are not inherently botting if they're available, and to all the community, potentially open source, things like that. The second tool that was mentioned had something to do with being able to determine like your travel distance. So it was kind of a helper app, for lack of a better term, and this live price comparison of what resources are. So you can actually, in real time, kind of decide, hey, I want to go out and mine this resource and something like that. And I think those are great aids, no different than the original maps where the resources are found, where the first one, and then there's, I think a few weeks ago, someone developed a tool that had the probabilities for finding SDUs. So again, that was all great, and I'm glad, again, the Star Atlas community team provides an opportunity for builders to get some exposure to what they're building, even if, again, nothing's supported or endorsed by the team. One other small thing, was another raffle drawing. Again, I didn't win. But again, I'm not putting a lot of tokens or a lot of golden tickets in, but I kind of again go back to that. It's sort of happens, and a couple people feel really good, but it's definitely not the kind of event I was assuming would be on a weekly basis. Maybe again, I'm just not into it that much, but I don't know. It seems like it could be promoted better or just made more of an event. But again, neither here nor there. Still cool that they're doing it and following through with it. A couple final things. One, Sage Labs got some new patch notes. Apparently there's and I'm, again, got to sometimes remember how these words relate to the actual commands, but there's a decrease in the extracting emission rate, which should decrease the R4s. Again, those are the 4 main resources. Some increased crafting costs and an updated Atlas fee. So I think all these relate to the final topic I'll get into, which is the price increase in the tokens. But apparently these changes definitely spurred a lot of conversation with the Star Atlas Discord about, higher taxes or changes or whatever. So again, since I haven't been really playing it for many weeks, I kind of lost track of all these things. And again, this fits more, I think, within the quote-unquote spreadsheet gamer warrior mode where, these things have an impact. So I'm not saying that they don't have an impact and they're not potentially changing how the, quote, game is played, but the impact and stuff like that, I can't really speak to any of that. But again, things are changing and this is sort of the final topic, in response to the increase in the tokens. So I'm not sure if I mentioned it on the last one, but I think it was 2 weeks ago that Polis, the governance token, had a pretty decent price increase. And then definitely this past week, Atlas had quite a large price increase. Don't quote me on any of this because you can go look at the charts, but it went from 0.003 compared to USDC to 0.007, so a doubling. And I actually checked my score claims of Atlas and put it in the calculator, and I was like, wait, that's actually real money now. Again, not like life-changing money, but I mean Starbucks money. I could have got a Starbucks just from the admissions. So that's actually interesting, but I hate to say this, it kind of gets back to where, and I know I'm not an economist, I barely understand, things like supply and demand, how inflation, why gas prices go up, why do houses cost more because of interest rates. I have some, I would think, some basic understanding of how the real world economy works and how it impacts us because, we see it on our grocery bill or taxes or anything, things like that. But I have no clue why the price went up. Now, some of the things on Twitter is like, oh yeah, because we're popular, we had a great break point. Apparently Solana also went up. But as I was talking to my wife, who has always been, shall we say, a crypto, not pessimist, but like, what is this thing? Yeah, I don't know why it went up either. I'm glad it did because I held some stuff and I'm getting some stuff. But, and again, back to what I said earlier with the ship prices going up, it's all great. I didn't buy ships during the initial release for the posters, but I bought them, I guess, almost 2 years ago was the first ones. And yeah, they're not worth what I paid for them then. So, it's great it's going up. But again, I don't know why prices go up. I don't know why they go down. Nothing's fundamentally changed as far as anything. Yeah, and I guess on the other hand, and I just finished watching a movie on the GameStop short. I can't remember what it was. A couple years back, there was a whole thing on GameStop stock being shorted for the stock market and how people. Anyways, you have to watch the movie. What was it? Dumb Money. But the point is, I don't understand options. I don't understand. I barely got the stock market understood. This, again, seems like, well, why do prices go up or down? GameStop is a company. Star Atlas is a game. I don't have a point here. It's just cool. Prices are going up. Yay, I feel good. But I don't know why. So, and that's pretty much it. Again, like I said, it's sort of been a quiet period. A couple content creators came out. Afia Funcracker had his weekly newsletter. Atlas Brew, Metaverse Nomad. So again, all the usual suspects were producing some content, but not much from the team this week. But again, like I said, it's December, actually officially December now. But with the United States, there's definitely a pattern between Thanksgiving and Christmas that is a much more quiet point, and then we get into the holidays for family, and then we get into the reflectiveness and the promise of the new year ahead. So I'll leave it at that. So again, if you're interested in any of the people I mentioned, their articles or videos, please go to intergalacticherald.com and look for the news recap. If you want that to come to your mailbox each week, please sign up. You should be many different things, including a pop-up to input your email address. So you'll get that usually at Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That email goes out if all the technology works. And then just my two, Star Atlas Builder projects. Again, I'm working on setting up a merch store at intergalacticgear.com. Please go there to fill out my merch survey. And looking for people who want to hang out with me and other gamers that aren't members of guilds in the Star Atlas community, please go to intergalacticcoalition.com and fill out my interest survey. And that's it. Hope you guys have a great week ahead. This is Matt with the Intergalactic Herald.